Hello, beautiful souls. This is Vanita Kumar, also known as Twinflameunion, bringing you guys in this week's pep talk and empowerment, law of attraction, and how this applies in your life. Whether you are in a twin flame path or a soul's journey or just living your life purpose, you can always use tips on law of attraction and how you can actually apply in your day-to-day existence. It's one of those topics that is out there and people try to teach it, but it's still an enigma for many because people think that law of attraction is all about forcing outcomes and forcing free will and what have you not. And in this pep talk and empowerment, I'm going to actually talk about how this is actually a misconception and how you can actually apply it. And a lot of people don't understand that when they are going about in their day-to-day existence, law of attraction is always there. It's actually in your life, whether you actually realize it or not. And this is one of the things that many people get confused about. So I'm gonna go in a very condensed version of this because I've actually written a 5-part series on this. And when I started writing the article, I thought it would be just 2-part series, and it actually ended up becoming 5. It just goes to show that there's just so much information on this and not very many insights on it with articles because they only touch a few things here and there. So yeah, it ended up becoming a 5-part series, which I never thought I could do, never even imagined that I would be able to do so. But before we actually dive deep into this topic, let's hit it. And welcome back. For those that are new to this channel, please do not forget to hit like, share, subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any future videos that I always load up. Usually it's about 7 to 10 days. That's usually when I actually load up. And if you want to book any services with me, all that information is listed in the description. So you can go ahead and book right on my website. That's there, so you can do that. So we're gonna dive deep into this topic, and as I said that I've already written a 5-part series on this, so I'm gonna actually link those series so you can have a look at it, especially if you haven't come across it in my website, or if you're new to this channel, you're new to what I teach, so you can have a look at what I've written and go from there. And that is actually more in depth than what this video is. This video will be a sort of a nutshell of what what the law of attraction is, and I want to explain it rather than just writing it because I find that when people are following this video, they actually get drawn to the articles that I actually link, and they actually end up reading it. So this is the idea anyways. And again, YouTube is a very huge platform, and there's many videos out there on law of attraction, and I always look at those myself because I get actually really good insights with that, and actually will link a few that helped me in my journey. And you know, if there's any that is sticking to my mind as I'm going about with this video, I will definitely link their information, because I feel that and when you watch, you know, people like that, you definitely get a higher insight on how to manifest things. So before I begin, I didn't want to write this down, so I have it in my iPad here, and it's a meme that I actually ended up posting in my social media accounts. So you can, if you haven't started following that, do that as well, because I feel that people that do, they actually like it, because they always get the messages that they need. And I don't do it intentionally. It's usually the spirit working its magic with you guys. So if you resonate with the ones that I intuitively post, is because that's the message of the day that you actually need. So feel free to do that. I've got Facebook public page that where I share it, Instagram, Twitter. So go ahead and feel free, whichever one you are drawn to, or whichever public platform that you actually follow. Either way, it's the same post that gets distributed to their 3 public accounts, as well as I also draw out a card of the day. So there's a few things that I do for my very dutiful followers. And I started out, like I said, I don't know if you've heard this before, or if it is, then I'm gonna tell it to the new ones that are following me. I started out very late with that. I was focusing so much into my group, and that's why my group followers are, higher than my public accounts, is because I didn't for the longest time do anything. And then I realized that people were actually following me there, and I felt bad for them, because here they were trying to follow me there, and I wasn't doing much for them. So I decided to go a little bit active on that for the last maybe 7 months, so it hasn't been that active before that, and I do apologize. And for those that have been following it longer, I paid attention to the fact that you guys were posting there, and a lot of them, I had to shut off the public account. I actually had to limit the access to the public accounts, because a lot of members that didn't understand that there is a page as well as a group. poor guys, they were actually posting their twin flame stuff, which I don't think that they wanted it to be on my public page. They actually intended it to be in my group, and there were members there as well as following the public page. So I actually shut off all that. So it's fairly safe to go in there. You can only comment, you cannot make posts there. You can only just comment on what I post, and it just gives them a little bit more privacy, because a lot of them that are following this twin flame groups, they don't want to be on a public platform. But that one is safe enough. You are only just following. You're not much, other than a couple of comments here and there. You can't really actually do much in those platforms. So they're very safe, and whether they are private or not, we won't go there. I'll leave it to your discretion what you feel like it's safe for you. So anyways, I shared this, and this is a meme by Abraham Hicks, and Spirit works mysteriously when it comes to my mission work, because if it wasn't for their daily insights and their guidance and their help, I don't think I would be able to do this in a very larger way that I do. So I am forever grateful and thankful for that to happen. So I had already thought of talking about this topic, and again I ended up getting this meme, and I shared it, and I thought this was very in line with what I was going to talk about today. So here it is. I'm going to read it out to you. The reason you want every single thing that you want is because you think you will feel really good when you get there. But if you don't feel really good on your way to get there, you can't get there. You have to be satisfied with what is while you're reaching for more. So I'm going to read this once again so that it sinks in, and I'm going to talk about this why, and I'm actually going to break it down because I actually feel that, you know, this is such a profound, you know, quote that Abraham Hicks had channeled. The reason you want every single thing that you want is because you think you will feel really good when you get there. But if you don't feel really good on your way to there, you can't get there. You have to be satisfied with what is while you're reaching for more. So I'm gonna break this down because, and I have as usual my little notes here, so I'll go on that too. And I'm gonna actually break it down as to how the magic works, right? So the reason you want everything that you want, and there is no, you know, it's not a sin to want what you want, even if it is to do with your twin flame. Who, I do not know any single human being that does not want their twin flame. It's not even a question, because you feel that way, I feel that way, and every twin flame teacher, I do not care what the story is, they all do. But how they align with their soul purpose, how they align with themselves, that's the key that I think that a lot of them are missing, because they actually went within and they actually did a lot of self-work, self-healing. So we'll go over that a little bit, and that's where it actually differentiates between majority of the collectives and what that may be or what it looks like. So yeah, the reason you want everything is that you want is because you feel really good. The reason you want every single thing that you want is because you think you will feel. Think is the big part, because a lot of times people think that when they've got a desire to be with their twin flame, I'm gonna go with this because this is what, you know, majority of the followers are twin flames. Your desire to be with your twin flame is so intense that, you know, you feel that when you when you get there, you're gonna feel amazingly amazed with that whole situation. And I've already heard about this a few times where, you know, people have manifested their twin flame relationship. I won't say union, because union again is, I'm gonna go over that in a little bit here, what that means. I would never actually even claim that I'm in twin flame union, or that I would want, you know, that my relationship with my twin flame or my connection with my twin flame is in twin flame union, because twin flame union is something that you're always striving for. So it's a state of being. You're actually lifting your consciousness to higher realms. So you are forever doing that. So when people say they're in twin flame union, you are actually talking about your twin flame relationship, and the union is what you are striving for. So know the difference. Correct anybody that's saying that, because a lot of times people are saying that out of ego, because they think that they've achieved twin flame union when nobody actually has. You know, they are still going through their life hurdles, and they're going through you know, their relationship hurdles, their spirituality. For you to achieve twin flame union, you have to be as enlightened as, almost like the godlikes like Buddha, or, you know, those higher beings. So if you feel that you are there, then go ahead and claim that you are in twin flame union. Otherwise you're not, you know, because you're still on the path to twin flame union, and that's okay. You should be on a path to twin flame union. We all are, right? But yeah, try not to use that word, because that's coming out of your ego desire again, you know. And ego desire, I'm gonna go over it in many times. I'm gonna be mentioning it because I actually wrote like large notes here on why ego desire is something that you have to be very careful of, because it can really get to you, and you don't want to be manifesting things in a wrong way. You want to manifest things in a correct way, in the highest vibration ever, right? So yeah, a lot of times what ends up happening is that A lot of people, they manifest their twin flame relationship, and then when they're there, they realize that it's not all hunky-dory as it is, that they had envisioned it to be. The reason why, because there's so much stuff that they're still healing and they're still incorporating, and it always comes back. It doesn't matter whether you are alone in a separation or in a relationship. It doesn't matter, because that's gonna always come back. So that's where this part shows up, and that's that you think that you will feel really good when you get there, and you actually don't. You don't feel really good when you actually get there, because you're half complete, right? You're half complete within you, not because you're twin flame. So I'm gonna go over that as well, so just hang in there. I'm gonna go through all these points because this meme was just I didn't think that I could actually explain it like this, and here I am explaining it like this. So it just goes to show that I sometimes underestimate myself as well. So another thing that it's saying is, but if you feel really good on your way there. So that's the part that you always hear when you are talking to people that are in a higher vibration, because they always say, be positive, be grateful, be in the highest vibration as you are traveling, right? You're jumping dimensions. So basically you're leaving the 3D dimension, and you're actually on your way to the 5D dimension. So that would be the 4D, where you actually see signs and things, and you are getting alignment with your heart's desire. So that's what that is, and I'll actually link that that article as well, because I feel that you should know the difference between 3D. There's no such thing as 3D here on earth and 5D up there. It's actually moving your heaven on earth, here, right? So what happens in heaven, nobody knows. You'll only know when you actually pass on from your body. That's the only time you know what's on the other side. Otherwise, who cares what's on the other side, right? You want to bring everything here. So realistically, you are living. You're a living person. So you should be knowing what heaven feels like here, and not there. I mean, when on a soul level, you don't feel anything. You don't feel any emotions, and everything is bliss there. Everything is amazing. So you will feel that anyways, when you pass on from this body. But you won't feel this way if you are here. I just noticed some hummingbirds flying, and there were like a few of them. Wow. Just goes to show that I just saw it to the corner of my eye. I have a window here, so I get a little bit of view. So sometimes I get, last week I had squirrels, so this time I have hummingbirds. Well, I'm gonna take it all, whatever comes. So yeah, so you have to feel amazing while you're getting there, and that's the part that you have to shift your consciousness on that, right? And there's few tricks that I'm gonna teach you on how you can feel really amazing. We're gonna go on that. You have to be satisfied with what is. So you have to be satisfied with your current situation as is, while you're reaching for more. So you have to be, and that's the key part that a lot of people don't understand, is that you should be happy and grateful for your current situation as is. And I don't care if you're miserable about your twin flame being with a karmic, because those are again another lessons, and or you are with a karmic, or your twin flame has ghosted you, and all those wonderful scenarios that twin flame journey has. We all have that, right? But the part is that you should be actually very, very grateful for where you are, because when you shift your gratefulness and you are actually concentrating on your life, and just getting all the loose ends in order, that's when you actually just see the miracles that just start to come forward. And that's what you are missing out on, is the whole twin flame experience. Because at the end of the day, your soul, and I actually wrote this, so I want to actually say this right. So so your so your soul, your actual soul, which is the higher version of you. See, the thing is that you cannot actually trick you. And a lot of people think that, well, twin flame union, I want to be with my twin flame, and that's all I want to do. I don't want to go through all of this. Well, I'll tell you what. You can want, but your soul has other plans, and your soul is the higher version of you. So again, it's up to you on how you feel, right? Towards that. And this is why you have to shift your entire perception and your entire demeanor on being grateful for as is. That's where that comes in, because if you do not do that, you'll be very miserable. So which way do you want to be? Do you want to be miserable, or you want to be actually happy? Do you want to happily begin doing your twin flame journey, or you want to do it miserably? That's that couple of sentences. That's what it was trying to say. Because if you are happily going through this, in your state of consciousness, in your state of being, then you're on the right path. So those are some of the questions that you need to ask, right? How happy you are, riding this journey. Because if you're not happy, then that's what it's going to be. It's gonna be excruciating, and it's going to be not something that you will actually enjoy. You won't enjoy that twin flame experience, right? Because let me tell you, as much as you want your twin flame, as much as I want my twin flame, basically your ego versus your desire is the story here. So, and that's your higher self, my higher self, that's at work. So it's not as simple as it sounds like, because your ego, out of your ego desire, not ego versus desire, because that's two different things, and I'm going to go over that in 1 second. When you are manifesting using any technique, whether it's Lawofattraction or like those kind of magic manifestations, that some of the people that try right, you are actually basing it off your ego desire to be with your twin flame. And when you are basing it on your ego desire to be with your twin flame, that's where it gets tricky, because your soul knows that. Right? Not just you. I mean, we've all been there. I know that in the beginning stages of my journey. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be very honest. I did try manifesting my twin flame relationship. I've done that. Did it work? Absolutely not. And am I glad that it didn't? Yes. Because had I manifested that few years, well, not few years, because it hasn't been few years, it's only been 2.5 years, but if I had manifested that in the beginning of my journey, like 2 years ago, I would not be ready to hold that relationship the way that I would be able to do that when I'm ready to do so. And again, I don't know when I'm ready, and I don't even question that, because at this point I'm just thinking about my life, my many aspects of my life that I'm actually manifesting. And that's the great part about law of attraction, because you can use other avenues of manifesting things. And I actually use this to the T, because I love law of attraction and what it teaches. And the biggest thing that it actually teaches is, I wish that many people would talk about this openly, but they don't. And it's the biggest thing that law of attraction teaches is self-focus. Now you're like, what? Oh, that's what it teaches? Look into it, because those that teach it right will teach you self-focus is the key. And what do you often hear in twin flame journey? To focus on yourself. So then how is law of attraction not applied to twin flame journey? How is that the case? So you have to dig into it, dig into my five blog series that I've written on it, and just see where you are missing. What have you missed that, you know, is your misconception. That's something, that's your homework assignment. So do that, because I feel that, you know, you will get the, you know, very good insights on that. So it also talks about another thing, looking outside of yourself to complete you. So law of attraction is against that, because what it's saying is that you should not look outside of you to complete you in anything, because the completeness comes from within you, whether it's the job that is a desire. I mean, these are all manifesting. You can manifest that all you want, but you shouldn't be, you know, especially in relationship, you know, this is targeted, because a lot of times people are drawn to law of attraction because, you know, either there's two things that they are attracted to: the money, the career, the fame, you know, and that's why they are going for law of attraction, or relationship. Those are the two reasons, number two reasons why people go for that. And if you're on a twin flame journey, most likely you're doing both, you know. So and that's fine, you know. It's good to have your desires and your goals intact. You should be very clear what you want. You know, there shouldn't be any reason, any shadow of doubt on what you want. Set your intentions, set that wish. It's not really a wish, but it's setting that intention that, you know, this is what I want. But once you do that, you have to detach from the outcome. And that's one of the trickiest things to do, because, you know, you're constantly getting bombarded with signs and things, and, you know, your twin flame is coming to you in 5D and they're meant to do all of those things, you know. And then how the hell do you detach from that outcome? You really throw that in the back burner while you actually focus on you. So, you know, you can focus on your healing. I actually wrote 3-part series on the healing and what that means, you know, and what has worked for me so far. You can try other things as well, but it gives you a guideline on what that means, right? What is healing anyway? So you wanna do that. You wanna, you know, focus on that. You wanna try to manifest a career, a job, right? Your business, you know, your mission. Money, because all of that is created around money, and money is, again, very, very important, because without that you cannot get, you know, any kind of lifestyle that you want it to be. You know, you cannot put roof over your head, you cannot you know, feed you, right? You cannot use without money you cannot have transportation, you cannot travel, you know. I mean, when the world is better, of course, you know, people want to travel too, right? So all these kind of tips, right? And you know, how to manifest that. And I've actually done a video on that, on how to manifest money, so take a look at that as well. I'll actually link that video here in the description, so you can have a look at that too if you haven't, and how you can manifest money, because there's nothing wrong with it. I've actually, in my 2.5 years that I've been on this journey, I've been manifesting money like this nobody's business, because the spiritual journey is expensive, and you know, getting together with healers, you know, for your own healing, that's all, you know, cost money. And I always set that intention to my higher self that if you want me to heal, then you're gonna create ways for me to have the money so that I can actually do the healing. And actually ended up doing that, and I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars in my twin flame journey, and that's not including the readings and stuff like that, because that's just entertainment part. You cannot, you know, look at readings as you know, as part of your you know, healing, because, you know, it may heal you a little bit, it'll give you a temporary direction on how to go about your journey. And I do feel that readings are helpful. Personal readings are anyways, because, you know, the reader does tune into your energy and gives you better insights and guidance. So, and I do that all the time, but, you know, I don't just do that alone. I actually spend you know, 80% or 90% of my budget into my healing, because I think that's more important. So and in the beginning stages of my twin flame journey, it was so confusing because, you know, of the way it was. So I spent a little fortune on the reading, not so much now because I already know everything that I need to know. So I'm a little bit better there. So I'm not going to say that I will never get readings, because that's not true. Excuse me. But, you know, it's important that you know, you find what what works for you. So then what does it mean when I say ego versus desire? Excuse me, my throat is like tickly here. When you are desiring something, that's not really your ego. But when you are basing your actions based on ego is usually fear, lack of faith, right? Lack of judgment, you know, all those kind of things. Those are ego based, right? You know, you are showing that sign of desperation as well. So there's nothing wrong with having a clear-cut vision of what you want. You know, you want that anyways, right? Because you are setting that intention, and intention when you set is very, very powerful. So you want to do that. But when you're basing it around the you know, the ego, look that up, what ego means, because ego is not just about pride, it's about a lot of other things. So when you incorporate that into your desire, that's when it actually goes sideways. So you don't want to do that, you know. And the biggest one is desperation, because a lot of times what we feel is that when we are trying to manifest something, we often get very, very desperate because we want it here now, you know. And law of attraction doesn't work that way. It doesn't you know, manifest in that kind of mode. So this is why letting go of the outcome is very, very important. And, you know, I'm going to give you a few examples here, you know, and I use that in my articles all the time. You know, these days with the shutdowns, everybody is doing online ordering, right? So we all do that. You know, when was the last time you ordered something online and then you're hounding the merchant for your package? The only time you do that is when your package is taking a little bit longer to be shipped, then you question that, or when it's actually lost its way, you know, to you, right? So, and usually that happens very, very little, but majority of the time when you actually order something from, you know, a purchase from online, what you do is you actually sit there and you don't even actually wait, because you know, usually the communication is already there. Like, you know, you place your order, you get a confirmation order number, then you get an email, and you get all sorts of transaction, you know, information. So when you get all that, you're like, okay, it's gonna come when it's gonna come. How many times do you actually do that? I bet you anything that's about 100%, because you're not sitting there frantically looking at your order. Sometimes they give you a tracking information, and again, you know, if you know that it's been dispatched and shipped to you, you don't look at the tracking right away. You start looking at it maybe about 3 days after. How many? Write in your comments, you know, if this resonates with you. And this is a scenario that I'm giving, but this is life as well. So it just goes to show that, you know, you're not sitting there checking up on it. And because the reason why is because you've let go of that outcome for it to arrive to you. You know that it's going to arrive. You already know the package is on its way. So why would you sit there and hound and waste your time? You have better things to do, and you actually do. So you usually do other things, or you continue shopping or whatever have you, or not, right? But you've actually, you know, let go of that outcome because you know it's on its way. So that's the same theory that I'm using here, that you know, if you've placed your order to the universe, then that's what you need to do. You need to let go of the outcome, and the signs and syncs that you are getting is because, you know, you're getting that confirmation, right? Like the way that you place that order, you've got that confirmation, your order number, you know, your shipping details and all that sort of thing. You've got that, and those are the confirmation that it's manifesting, especially those ones that actually constantly see you know, the like the 1111, for example, because that's the manifesting power number, right? It's got so many what's the word here? It's got so many reasons why you actually see that. It's not just because you're on a twin flame journey, but you can actually be in a manifesting power. So if you're seeing 1111, that means that you've got some manifesting skills, right? So, you know, the universe is in alignment with you, and, you know, you are able to manifest anything you want. So you just have to, again, let go of that outcome. So you basically want to do that, right? You don't want to be, you know, you don't want to be constantly tapping on to the universe. Hey, when is my order coming? When is my order coming? It's going to come when it's going to come. Relax, right? And that's the part, that desperation part, where that ego desire is taking over, and you don't want that. You want, and it's your higher self. Come on, you think that you can trick your higher self? At what point did you think that's going to work? Right? It is, your higher self is the highest version of who you are. It is you in the higher version. So you cannot trick you, unfortunately. So sorry to say for those that thought that, right? You know, and I wanted to actually break this down this way, because I think that it's important that you understand that. So yeah, so you've ordered that package and it's on its way, and it'll get delivered when it gets delivered. If it doesn't get delivered, then you can, you know, tap into the merchant's, you know, frequency and just find out what's happening. But usually, you know, that's just reality life, right? It's not about, you know, it may not be the case with your twin flame journey, because again, you know, you can only question so much, because, you know, your higher self is the boss, right? You can question the merchant, your higher self, you know, but are you getting any answers? Did you get any answers so far? Not really. So why bother? So why get there, and why be in that disappointment, right? So yeah, try to not do that. Another thing that I wanted to address here is you know, how you can manifest some of the things. So while you've set that intention with your twin flame, we've done that, we've already covered that, you know, you've set it up, you know, you're now focusing on yourself. Let's just hypothetically say that you've done that. You're now focusing on your healing. So let's just say that you're doing that, and you see all sorts of beautiful confirmations, whether it's dream syncs, 5D, you know, signs and syncs, right? You know, your tarot card readers and your teachers, or, you know, anybody that you are in contact with in that sense, you know, that are telling you that, okay, you know, you're on the right path, or you're getting all those, because you're reading all these blogs that are telling you that, okay, you know what, there's some movement happening. So we've done that. Now you got to put that aside, right? While you've done that, you put the order, then what you can do is try to manifest everything else around it. Because again, it's almost like a pyramid, right? It's like a complete package, and you want to be here, but you gotta ride up, right? So, and you are doing your takeoff, right? You know, so when you're takeoff, you know, you're you know, that whole force is going that way. So that's, you know, an idea here. Just, you know, I'm just trying to break it down so that, you know, it's easier for you guys to understand. So meanwhile, manifest the money, remove money blocks. I've worked with 3 healers now regarding my money blocks, and they were stemming from vows from last lifetime, I mean previous lifetimes, and what have you, you know, conditioning, this and that, you know. So you want to actually do that, because, you know, money does allow a lot of things. It allows you your day-to-day comfort, so there's nothing wrong with it. And you shouldn't be fearing about, you shouldn't have fear towards money as well, because your money is you shouldn't be afraid of money. So I mean, so far has it not provided you things that you needed? I'm pretty sure that it did. So it's nothing to be feared about, right? It's something that is actually very important in your life. So yeah, there's many ways you can actually manifest money. You can manifest career. There's nothing wrong with having goals and ambition, because you can actually manifest many ways, right? Like whatever that looks like for you. So you can do that if you're setting up your business and you're trying to step into your mission, then make sure that you're not straying from it, right? You still are focused on that, because a lot of times what ends up happening with people, and if you actually go into a lot of self-help books, they talk about that, is that you should never give up on your dreams, right? I do not know how many actually no, it was 1,000 times, I believe. Oh gosh, I don't remember his name, but the guy that invented lighting, like light, I can't remember his name now off my head here, but he tried 1,000 ways to create the light, and 1,000 times he failed. And if he had given up in the first round, in the 10th round, in the 20th round, he would not be able to invent light for everybody, right? So it just goes to show he kept fixing it. And his saying was, when people asked him, he said, well, I learned 1,000 times what not to do. So he found ways to do this whole like he refixed his formula, he refixed it, and he didn't repeat the 1,000 mistakes he did make, but he kept going at it, and after the 1,001 time, he created light. So it just goes to show that that's the number one lesson that Law of Attraction teaches, is do not give up. So that's the thing, that a lot of times people what they do is they end up giving up on their dreams and their desires, because they think that it's not going to work. Perhaps it may not, but the only way you'll know is when the time hits, right? You don't know that answer for sure, but you will, if you're not in alignment, or if you're not meant to be with your twin flame, then by you focusing on yourself and your well-being and your success, you will find somebody that is in the same vibrational match with you, right? Because that's what it is. It's aligning with the person that you are in vibrational match. And a lot of times when people are aligning themselves, to the higher vibration, and then they look back and they look at their twin flame, and you can write your comments in the description, because I would love to know who this applies to, because I've heard this as well, where they've lifted their vibration so much that when they go back and look at their twin flame, and they realize, oh, okay, you're not as tantalizing and as amazing as I thought you are, because it's not because they are not, they're where they are. It's because you've actually lifted your vibration higher than your twin flame. So imagine that when that happens. And this is why a lot of coaches and teachers will say, and this is that you can actually never go wrong with only focusing on yourself, because if you've lifted your vibration really, really high, and you're up there, and your twin flame, if you're up there and your twin flame is still here, then the universe is gonna get somebody else to meet you here, and your twin flame can be here. So which one do you want? You want the twin flame that's here, or you want your partner to be here? Which one do you want? It's a big leap. It's a big difference. So know that, own it. That's what I'm trying to say. So, and your higher self is at work. This is your higher self's magic. So imagine that, right? So this is why a lot of times, you must have heard that, you are being told to focus on you and not your twin flame. Let them figure out their stuff, because you're not responsible to heal them. You're responsible to heal yourself, and you're supposed to. I'm itching like crazy, and I haven't had time to look at my blog that I had written on ascension. I know that it's like all over my body. I'm just itching, so I have to go back and have a look and see what I wrote, because I wrote so many things, and I have to see, because yeah, it's been, I know it's something to do with purging and releasing something, but I even had few days ago, I actually even had a rash, here. So it was like throat chakra clearing, and if it's not there, then what I'll do is I'll make that amendment, because what it is it's your body is releasing some toxins. This is why it's coming in the form of and I don't have actually a rash, it's just like just very itchy, and I'm trying not to scratch them because I bruise very easily, and I have long, really killer nails, so so I'm trying to do it very lightly, but I've just been going crazy with all this scratching, and today is better. Last few days was really bad, so so yeah, if I'm gonna go back to the blog, and if it's not, then I'll just tell you here on video. It's because your body is releasing something, toxins, it's part of ascension. And hives and rushes and stuff like that, it's because again, it's part of releasing and all that sort of thing. And pay attention to where the rushes are. In my case, it was here in the throat area, so it's not there anymore, thank God. And so yeah, I applied some ointment on it, and it's gone now. And yeah, it was throat chakra activation and clearing, all the release of BS from there. So I'm happy that it actually happened, because again, it's never fun to go through ascension, but the higher reason for that is actually more fun when you actually pass that, right? So it's only a temporary thing, so it's nothing to be alarmed with and crazy, worry about. So back to the story here. I got sidetracked because I just, if you're thinking that I have and then I try to moisturize my skin as well, just so that it's not that reason, but it's not, because yeah, it is heading to winter here in Canada, but yeah, it's because something else is happening. So I'm just gonna leave it at that here. So yeah, you wanna manifest your your mission work, and you wanna manifest your business. Wanna do that. And when you're doing that, in all honesty, believe it or not, when you are actually 100% focused on yourself, you couldn't care less what's happening with your twin flame, because you will think about them. There's no question there. You will love them, and you will want them and all that sort of thing. But your energy will be so consumed in your well-being and in your betterment that your twin flame situation will just go automatically, whoops, on their sideline, and that's what you want to do, because when you are in that state of your life, there you go, you've actually shifted your state of being, and you're actually on the right manifestation path, and that's a good thing. Whether your twin flame is still coming to you in 5D and giving you signs and things via communications or in your dreams or whatnot, that's all good. Just know that your universe is with you and your twin flame is with you, right? But throw that in the back end and try to look after you. Another one that a lot of teachers talk about in Law of Attraction is gratitude. And I cannot emphasize on this enough. I started this more than a year ago on my gratitude journal. In fact, actually, today will be my last entry on that book, and then I'm going to be opening up a brand new book. I cannot emphasize on that enough. Like I said, reason why being because, there's 3 ways to do it. Three things that you're grateful for, 5 things, or 10 things. And for those that are like Bob Proctor, I follow him because he's a cute grandpa that I I mean, my grandpa, well, I only knew one grandpa because the other one, my mom's dad, wasn't, he had already passed on by the time I was born. So, and my grandpa, my dad's dad, was very, very, oh my God, like he was the best dressed person I ever knew. He had this really stylish goatee, and he's got this like stylish hat, and like he's my mom was saying, because I remember him to be a really good dresser. My mom was always saying that he made sure that his clothing was pressed to perfection, and that's how I remember him. Actually, he was just very well dressed person. And growing up, I didn't think much of it because it's like, okay, you don't really think about it, but it's amazing that conditioning as from a child. I actually wrote that in my blog. I think it was my inner child blog. It just goes to show that the conditioning starts to happen, from there, because all the, romantic interests that I, over the years that I've been attracted to or whatever, I've always looked at how they dressed. And that was a big thing for me. You don't have to wear designer clothing, per se, but it had to be a good dresser, right? And luckily enough, like majority of the guys were into the designer clothing. So but I just thought that was something. It's something that you really start to, when you start to focus on you and your life, you actually start to see a lot of patterns and stuff, and some of them are actually positive, some of them are negative. That's within your healing for you to figure out, because it's all about self-discovery, and you actually discover these kind of things and the signs and things from back then, even when you were a child and growing up, because I focused a lot of time on my inner child, right? So child healing, so I actually reflected on a lot of these kind of things, and I really found answers in today's time, what how things were and why did that happen, and how it's applying in my current life, right? So yeah, it's just stuff like that. And I just found that I was very, very particular about dressing style and hair, and I just didn't I was just always into that. And it's and then luckily my twin flame is all of that. I don't have to worry about that. It's not something that I have to change there. Thank God. Because it's all there, like I'm just saying, it's just the way that I just really, it was a big thing for me in my list. And apparently that's okay. The universe is on my side. Thank God. Thank you, universe. So yeah, you can do 3 things daily, 5 things, or 10 things. And Bob Proctor does 10. I've always done 3, but if there is, for that day, if I found that I had more than 3 things to list, I would just list them anyways. And guess what? The next day I always had stuff to write about what I was grateful for, so you can go intuitively whichever way, but 3 is the minimum, so try to do that. And it's best to write it down. I know that in my Facebook group, the moderators, and thank you girls, you guys are amazing. You know who you are. I won't mention you here, but I know you guys watch this. So and all my moderators, thank you for doing what you guys do. It's not an easy job to look after such a large community, but you guys do it so well. So, and the ones that did do it in the past, I'm forever grateful for you guys as well, because without any of you, I wouldn't be where I am right now and be able to do it in such a bigger way. So you guys had helped us, helped the group, helped me in a very large way. So, I forever will be grateful for that. So, yeah, in my group, the ladies actually post that daily, and members actually use that platform to give out their gratitude. So you can do that in the group as well. If you're on a run, that's okay, because you're still putting that energy in there. But it's better if you can actually write it in a journal. It's better. It's okay, because energy is energy, whether you're typing it there or you're actually putting it in a journal, or you can do both. Whichever way, it actually shifts your consciousness in a bigger way, because when you are grateful for littlest things, you know, there's going to be that portal that opens up, a gateway or portal that allows the universe to keep giving you abundance, you know, and it'll just keep repeating that, you know. So imagine, you know, you're doing this gratitude thing, and a week has gone by, a month has gone by, and you've got more and more things to be grateful for. How is that possible, right? And very rarely you will find that you're actually repeating the same things, honestly, because you don't really need to, you know, repeat it. What I what I wrote in the beginning of last year is not what it is now. You know, what I wrote there as being thankful each time, each day was something different. So how is that possible? It is possible because that's what, you know, you're doing. You're shifting your entire state of being in, right? So you can do that. Another one that has personally worked for me, holy moly, I could not believe, oh my goodness, the year is about to end. We are sitting in October. So I already started thinking about what I'm going to do for my 2021 vision board. And I've got my life vision board. And I did my inner child vision board because when I did my inner child healing, I was told to, and my healer was very informative, you know, so she told me to do a inner child vision board, and I ended up doing that. And, you know, it was... my issue started from the age of 3 with the traumas that I had. So I associated that time, you know, like life of a 3-year-old, basically, you know, is what my vision board was. And I want to say that, you know, for, you know, basing it on a 3-year-old, there's not much that you can, you know, put in your vision board other than, you know, playing and eating. And I had to talk to my, you know, my mom. And I even actually discussed it with my friend who helped me actually remember some of the things, because, you know, I guess I must have said things to her that she remembered. So, you know, I remembered some of the things that I forgot that I could put in there, what I liked and what I didn't. And yeah, and I ended up putting unicorn stickers. I had it in my thing, and I'm like, you know what, this is gonna look cute, I'm gonna put it on, because and as a 3-year-old, I didn't even know unicorns existed. I really didn't. It didn't matter, because when I put it there, it actually became you know, my symbol as in shamanic journey in the beginning of this year. I actually ended up, you know, seeing that. So that was very profound in my journey. And whenever I see a unicorn now, it's very assuring that I'm on the right path and all that sort of thing. You know, like whenever that comes, I actually pay attention to what kind of situation I'm in, whether I am thinking about something or whatnot, because, you know, that's very, you know, that will indicate to me what the messages are at that time. So that became very huge. So that was my inner child vision board, or my child, you know, mini me at 3 years old. And then another one that I did was the life vision board. And the life vision board, I want to say that, see, I had changed my, you guys by now would have seen my twin flame, you know, logo. That's the heart with the infinity. And when I had designed that, I had somebody design it for me. That went live in November of 2019, November 5th. I only had 777. Yes, the day that it went live, it was that many members in that group. And from there, you can check what the amount is. It's over 6,300. So it just goes to show how fast it just, and I'm not counting the ones that decided to leave, the ones that we, you know, through moderation or whatnot, removed, because, you know, that's not counted there. I'm talking about the existing members. It just goes to show how powerful it is. And I didn't think much of it till I looked at my vision board, and there is a fluffy cloud thing that that had 1111 with a heart around. No, it didn't have a heart around it, but just had 1111, and I just put that because of 1111 there. And this is why I say, when you see 1111, That's your manifesting power. So start to tap into that power of manifestation, because that's another way of looking at it. It's not just spiritual number, it's not only twin flame number, it's also you in alignment with the universe, so you can actually manifest whatever you want. So I saw this fluffy cloud picture and with the 1111 there, so then I actually ended up printing it. And I'll go over that, actually, how I do my vision boards, and see if this idea makes sense to you guys. So anyways, I looked at that a few months later and actually realized that it's got a heart, you know, like the cloud had, you know, had a shape of a heart in there, and a little bit of infinity in there too. And I looked at that. It's just clouds, but it's just the way that it's shaped. And here it is, you know, and I would have never seen it coming, that's what I would have done. You know, this is all in alignment with my manifesting powers. So I want to say that a lot of things from that vision board as well, you know, has come to fruition already. I want to say about 50% of the things that I had listed in the life vision board, you know, has turned into fruition. But what's baffling is, in the beginning of 2020, I decided to do a vision board for the year, and what that looked like was amazing, because I want to say about 80% has come into fruition, 80 to 85%, and the year is just not even finished. How does that work? 85%. So how I do vision boards, you know, you get a board from, you know, a craft store, or, you know, like a paper board. And I mean, you can go ahead and look at magazine cutouts if you have access to them. If you don't, it's not a big deal, because you know, what I did is I actually Googled the pictures. You know, today it's 2020, you know, we can get out of the magazine days, you know, and look at the pictures in the internet. It's okay to do that. I did that and it worked for me, so go ahead and do that, go nuts. So I downloaded the pictures in my my mobile, and I took it to you know, I just took it to Walmart, you know. So for those that live in North America would know what Walmart is, and if you have one nearby your house, it costs you 5 cents a print. It's cheap. So I took it there and downloaded it into their software, and then I just printed them. And then when I came back, I just strategically placed them in my vision board and wrote some things that meant something for me. And here we go. And I'm in October, and 85% has come, or 80%, good 80% for sure, has come into fruition. How? And when you create your vision board, you want to make sure that, you know, you are always looking at it. I spend a lot of time in my garage, you know, and that's the only room space that I have anyways, wall space, because I have lots of paintings and stuff like that in my home. So I ended up, you know, my garage is typically not everybody's garage, because it's quite fluffy looking, you know, as best as it can be. It's got tools and, you know, all those things. I park my vehicle in there, but it's got a little bit of fluffiness in there as well, with some nice things. So, you know, I did put my vision boards there because I have a little bit of extra wall space there, so that's what I put. And because I spend a lot of time there, it, you know, I see it all the time. So it just goes to show that how you know, things can come into your reality. So vision boards are very, very powerful. I haven't started this, but it is in my to-do list. Journal scripting. I know that you know, there's one YouTuber that talks about it really well, and I'm gonna actually link his information in there. His name is Clark Kinley, I think, you know. So I'm gonna just link his information where he's that video where he's talking about journal scripting. When I looked at that video, I knew what he was talking about, because I could just totally see myself doing it. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. So you want to do that. That would be very, very effective. Another one that I just started in the middle of it, that I am, and I'm already loving it. It takes time to do it, is life journal. So you want to do a life journal from the time when you were born. So age 1 to your current age. And what I did is I listed 15 things per age. So for age 1, 15, age 2, 15, and I'm actually at age 17 now. So and I already got so much healing from that too, and just reminiscing over some of the moments in my childhood. Some of the trauma came that I didn't know existed. My blue shoes story, oh goodness, that I actually went into my blog because I didn't see that coming. And but you know what, stuff like this, you know, just goes to show that, you know, when you're in alignment with your alchemy, stuff like this will come for you to heal and incorporate it and grow, because that's the whole idea. So when you're doing all these things, you can see that you are already shifting that focus from your twin flame. Because how can you think about your twin flame and do all these things if you're, you know, like, yeah, they'll be at the back of your mind, but you know, it just goes to show that, you know, when you are actually doing the things that you are doing in the right way, it's you know, everything else will align, right? So, and that's what you want to do, right? You want to make sure that your focus is entirely on you and less on your twin flame. So you know, you've already set that intention to the universe, you've placed that order, right? You've placed your online order. Now stop hounding the merchant. Make sense? Right? You know, just like when you go to a restaurant, you order your food, right? Your waiter takes the order, takes it to the cook in the kitchen, and then the cook looks at what you've ordered, right? What, you know, and then gathers all the ingredients, right? And then with the help of his team starts making it, right? Once it's made, then the waiter comes back and grabs it and then brings it to your table. Then you eat it, then you pay. Actually, no, you eat it and then you get the bill. Missing one step there. And then you pay. So if that is all a freaking process, what makes you think that you can just jump from A to Z just like that? Doesn't work that way. There's all these letters in between, right? So you gotta go through them all. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. And I hope that this video helped you. Do look at all the blogs that I'm going to mention in the description. Do look at the videos as well that I have talked about, right? And don't be afraid of law of attraction, because believe it or not, it goes hand in hand with your spiritual alchemy. And those that think that otherwise, you can go ahead and think that. It's up to you, because I know I can't change what you believe or what you think, but I know that for a fact that it does work and it is powerful and it does apply in your twin flame journey. And you know, if you really actually didn't understand what I'm saying here in my video, then feel free to follow the other, you know, coaches and teachers and what have you on law of attraction, and just see if there's any additional insights that they can tell you, because you will be baffled that, you know, it's a big world when it comes to law of attraction. And I actually I when I found out, or when I actually understood what it is, I couldn't believe it. So yeah, I'm forever grateful to have learned, and I'm forever grateful to be able to teach it to the collectives, because I think it's a big part of everybody's journey. And good luck in your manifesting powers. And yeah, let me know what you thought of this video, if this helped you in any way to understand law of attraction. And this was Twin Flame Union, bringing you guys law of attraction and how this applies in your life, whether you're in a twin flame journey or otherwise living just your soul's purpose.